All right, so we've got another 3-minute LinkedIn review, and if you haven't noticed yet, these are usually more than 3 minutes. So I apologize for the naming, but I'm sticking with it. All right, so this is Kerry Webster, who I know pretty well. She's in the Talent Stacker program, and she does a lot outside of Talent Stacker and a lot in her community also. So kudos to Kerry, and I think you guys are going to be pretty impressed by this profile. I'm going to give some feedback on this, but I would say this really serves as a sample profile. If you want to know what it looks like to really get out there and really push and really show value, not only for yourself as a professional, but also in the community and basically be a shoe-in as an employee, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so I'm going to try to highlight the things that, yeah, I want to give Kerry some feedback, but also I want you guys to learn from this profile. It's not just about the LinkedIn profile. This is about being part of a community. And that's really what's going to make you fit in the Salesforce space. And really, it's going to make you feel more comfortable when you're moving into tech jobs and just being part of the ecosystem. All right. So profile picture, again, looks approachable, great quality. You look friendly, someone I could send a message to, and I'd get a positive response. Background looks great, certified Salesforce administrator. I know you're currently doing your fellowship at Optima, and then you're in Talent Stacker. So those are all great logos to have, all high quality, really minimal background. I love it though. I mean, it looks excellent. All right, when we're looking at the title, Salesforce Certified Administrator - Analyst. That's perfect. If you've heard me talk about Salesforce titles at all, the two most common entry-level job roles are administrators and analysts. So if you list both of those in your title, you're going to show up in search results when hiring managers and recruiters are looking for certified administrators and certified analysts. All right, so you're also a military spouse advocate, and Optima, which is, for those of you who don't know, is a Salesforce consulting firm. You're an Optima fellow through Hiring Our Heroes. So being a mil spouse, you have access to Hiring Our Heroes, so that is excellent and obviously well-deserved. Your connections, you have 500 plus connections, so I can't tell you to go out there and connect with people. You've done a great job. Obviously, you want to continue to be active and connect and post 3 to 5 times a week, share, comment, engage with other people in the community on LinkedIn. And it appears you're already doing that based on the results that we're seeing, that 500 plus connections. And so for anybody watching this, the cool thing is once you get to 500 connections, nobody knows if you have 500 or 500,000. It just says 500 plus, okay? So that's a nice number to get to, just shows you've engaged up to at least that minimum. Now, what I did notice is that your About section looks really excellent. Like, this is a little more than I would typically recommend, but you can see how it's broken up into topics and how she has these dividers in here. And that's perfect for someone who's trying to read this content. It allows them to read the first line, decide if that interests them, and then skip to the next section. It tells them there's more to see below. So just think about that when you're creating your About section. Again, another great featured section. You can see it's all linking out to Salesforce related content, or in this case, military related content, because that's a big passion of Kerry's. So coming down to activity, I looked at your posts also. It doesn't show right here because you've been up to stuff this morning. But I looked at your post and your activity. Obviously, you're posting, you're resharing, you're commenting, and you're engaging rapidly, I would say every day on LinkedIn. And obviously, that's going to make you a much better member of the community. All right, so now let's get down to experience. And this is where I want people to pay attention. And then also, Kerry knows what I'm about to say. So she started this fellowship at Optima, which is basically like a paid internship that's available through Hiring Our Heroes for military and mil spouses. But we should be, you've been there for 2 months now, we should definitely be updating this. We need bullets talking about, what we're working on, what projects we've been involved with, the size of the projects we're working on, the solutions we've designed and what problems they solve, and all those things. We should go ahead and layer that in. And I know you're busy, so you're probably leaning towards hopefully getting an offer, a full-time offer from Optima at the end of this engagement, and therefore being in a position to just accept that offer. But I would say, go ahead and get this updated. That way you can field offers from, yes, Optima, but you can also field offers from other companies. Recruiters will reach out to you, hiring managers will reach out to you, but they need to see Salesforce repeatedly in that experience, what you're working on and why that matters. The next thing is, I know you're doing some really cool stuff with David Scott Nava over at Military Trailblazer. And this looks great, but once again, we're not bulleting out what we're working on, what we're doing, why it adds value. And I know you're doing some cool stuff with data analytics, observing trends and things like that, working with David. So I would highly recommend get that layered in there. It's going to add tremendous value. YouTube content creator, totally fine. Again, showing that you're creating Salesforce content. So this is what I wanted to show people. You're working an internship right now. We can't all expect to do that. That's totally fine. And you don't have to do an internship before you start your Salesforce career, but this is something available to Kerry. Volunteering for a group, she might be getting paid, I don't know, but volunteering for a Salesforce group, right? Like there are a lot of creators out there like David Scott Nava. There are people who are giving back to the Salesforce community. How great would it be to go volunteer to give back through creators like this to help them? They can always use help. And but make sure you bring the value. Don't just send them a private message and be like, hey, can I help? You have to tell them how you can help. You can tell them what you would like to work on, what skills you have, how you could bring a benefit. And all of a sudden, you're involved in the Salesforce ecosystem, you're building these relationships, and you're adding value. And you can put that on your resume, and you're probably going to get a letter of recommendation from the creator if you do a good job, which is huge because they are an established person in the Salesforce community. And you can see that Kerry is also making content on YouTube about Salesforce, even if the content, this is not what I'm saying, Kerry, even if the content was garbage and it wasn't great, could use better editing, didn't really, appeal from an influencer standpoint, doesn't really matter. The point is, I can see that you're passionate. I'm probably never going to watch a video anyway if I'm a recruiter. I'm just going to see that you're creating Salesforce content on YouTube, and I'm like, man, this person's serious about Salesforce. Let's get them in the door. Education is perfectly fine. Licenses and certification, Salesforce Certified Admin at the top. Your skills are great. Salesforce, organization, and creative. We could do better with the skills, right? We could have Salesforce, or like Salesforce.com, data analytics. We could layer on more technical skills to be endorsed for. And then again, noticing, as with most profiles, I don't see the recommendation section. So what I would recommend doing is adding the recommendation section, and then find 5 people in your network that you would like to give a recommendation to. Send out 5 recommendations, because when I look at people's profiles, I want to see that they recommend people more than they get recommended, because it shows me that you're a giving person, that you care about other people, and you're truly interested in driving the success of others. All right, I hope that helps.